welcome back to another video. Here we have a Specialized Kenevo. Now it's one of the lighter versions, it's a 2022. It comes with a 320 watt battery, 35 Newton meter motor, 250 watt. Light, full carbon, Fox finishing kit suspension, Fox forks, 170mm, Fox Fox X2 with low speed rebound, 29-inch wheels, front and back, aluminium rims, 2.3 Butcher tyres, SRAM finishing kit, code brakes, 4-pot. Also got a GX rear, 12 speed, 32 tooth change, Praxis crank, my own pedals, ignore those. So what's so good about this bike? Well, it actually rides like a weapon. The frame is the same as the Enduro pretty much, it's carbon. The frame can be altered, change the angles, you can change the head angle by +01. It came in stock this, and you have to put different head cups in, which I've not been provided with to do that. But also at the back of the bike here, you've got some flip chips where you can raise and lower the bottom bracket angle, and you can also go online on the Specialized website and put what kind of riding you want to do. Do you want to do rocky, rooty, steep, fast? And it will give you the best settings for the bike. They come in different sizes from S2 to S5. I think I saw an S6 as well, but you can class S2 as a small, S3 as a medium, S4 as a large, and this is an S4. It's quite generous in size compared to other large bikes. It's quite long, and you could even see that when I put it on the bike rack. It was sticking out miles. It's got a steep seat angle, which makes pedaling really good, and it descends like nothing on this earth. It's brilliant. It's got the 6-bar linkage at the back, which you might recognise from the downhill demo bikes, which gives a low centre of gravity and excellent turning. Because of the low weight as well, it does seem to turn a lot better than some of the other bikes, e-bikes that I've ridden that are heavy in terms of getting the weight over and back. This is a battery extender. This is extra on this model. Comes in about £350-ish, and it'll give you an extra 50% battery. The battery extender just fits with a wire that goes into the charging port there and to the top, as you can see. The bike will use both simultaneously and will give you an indication it's connected by saying 150% battery. We could turn the bike on with a power button here. You screen arise, it takes about 7 seconds to show what's doing. That was quite fast. And on here you can see a display, and we can use these functions to move up and down within an option. You'll see up, and the colours change on the modes. Yellow's turbo, green's trail, blue's eco, white is off. And you can also use the button on the back here, and that, by pressing that, changes the modes, which gives you another set. So these modes can be set within the app if you get the Mission Control app, connect it to the bike using Bluetooth. You can set the data screens here, you can say what you want. It's usually 2 data options per screen. I've got about 6 on here. One of the things I didn't realise about this bike, it's actually got a built-in power meter. And you can set the rider power, i.e. what your legs are putting out, and also what the motor's putting out. If you hold down the plus button, you'll see that you can change to 60%. So you can then use the positive and minus to change the assistance that the motor's giving you. So 60% assistance, that's just above trail, I'd say. You can knock it 70, 80, 90, 100, which is turbo. If you want to pre-configure these, you can use the app to pre-configure what you want trail to be, eco, and that kind of thing. So the app is quite essential. Get the app if you first get the bike, update all the firmware, which you can do over the air with the app as well, and then go through and check all the settings. This is one of the other ones. Add sensors, so I've got a heart rate monitor on. Using the app, you can pair that, and you'll be able to record those metrics. So if you've got something like a Garmin as well, you'll be able to see at the end what your power was in terms of power meter, what your heart rate was, and other metrics. But you need to enable some of those in your screens and also pair the sensors for it to work. The motor only being 35 Newton meters. Most of the other e-bikes are about 80 or 90. So do you feel the difference? Well, I can positively say yes, you do. And positively is probably the wrong word, it should be negatively. So this bike is more useful probably powering up a fire road or just on the flat and using some assistance. It will help you get up the climbs obviously, but you have to work harder for that. Now in the manual for this, it does say it comes into its own at 75 RPM cadence, which means spinning your pedals 75 times a minute, which is not overly fast, I guess, if you're a roadie, but for a mountain biker that could be quite fast. So with full fat e-bikes, you can pretty much use the power instead of your gears to get yourself up a hill, whereas this, you really got to get down the gear stack, get up the power mode and put an effort in from the rider. So it is very natural in terms of Each pedal stroke as well doesn't feel like you're dropping any power. Each rotation is really nice and smooth. When you set off, you don't get that instant, it does kind of like naturally give you that power like you would when you set off normally. Whereas some of the other e-bikes I've been on, when you climb, you just spin out if you're on a gradient to try and get up there. So it's an absolute awesome bike, but at $7.5 grand you would kind of expect that, plus the £350 for the range extender. This one's in black, it is carbon. You can get an orange one as well, and then they do a model above this which is about 10 grand I think, and you get all Kashima etc on there. The suspension platform on this is all Fox. You've got the Float X2 on the rear, and you've got Rhythms 36s. You kind of expect for 7 grand to have 38s really, wouldn't you? But nevertheless, they still perform well. You can't go wrong with a big pair of Fox up front. They're all air, so they're quite easy to set up, and there is a air chart on the fork to let you know what kind of pressure and also how many rebound clicks you should put on. Obviously use them as your base setting and then go from there. But overall the bike is light, it's easy to get over fences, which is a positive with an e-bike. It'll get you around and up the hills and over. In terms of range, I did a ride the other night and I did 3,000 feet of climb in 24 miles. I did it pretty much on 90% full power all the way. I had 20% battery when I got back, so it's just experience. Like a car, if you get a car, fill it up with fuel and leather it, it's not going to get you as far as if you're a bit more conservative. It's just getting used to the powers. You might configure the power modes as well in the app to make it suited more to however you ride. Would I buy one of these bikes? Oof. To be honest, I would have one. But if there's a choice between, say, this and the Rise, which is in the similar vein, I would go for the Rise. This is more of a weapon for descending with 170mm travel, and the extra bit of weight really gets you moving on a descent. It's super stable because it's really long, and again, you can change the back to make it slightly shorter. I like the configuration, but really it should be quicker to switch and move around and that kind of thing. That would make life a bit easier. Awesome bike. It's lent to me by Leisure Lakes in Bury. It's available for demo. You just need some ID. Bit of a deposit. I think it's about 50 quid. You'd have to ring up and check. They also have Rises available to demo as well. So if you fancy giving this one a go, give them a ring, get in touch if you're thinking of buying one. And thanks for watching. I need to go home because my lunch is over and I've got to get back to work. And I'll see you in another video.